Welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show. Another exciting show, and definitely another exciting guest. We're going to go all the way to India, Mumbai, and speak to a beautiful young lady, Mridula. And she's going to talk about, let's call it what it is, that beast mindset, that transformation. But check this out. Imagine having a condition that somehow or another is causing chaos in your body, mentally, physically, and emotionally. You tried everything under the sun, and hopelessness, let's use this word for what it is. Hopelessness sets in. Now you got to really go deep in yourself and ask yourself, what do I do now? Especially when that word hope is involved. Where do you turn to? How do you keep that beast mindset? How do you keep going when everything that people have told you, medicine, doctors, society, told you there's no cure? Let's welcome to the show. Let me get her name right. Mridula. What's up, baby girl?
Thank you so much, Andre, for having me here. And thank you for such a beautiful introduction. And yes,
well-deserved introduction based on everything that I'm reading right here, man. Like, wow. You know, I couldn't imagine somebody telling me that there's no cure for what I've been diagnosed with. But before we go down that road, tell the viewers a little bit about you before we get into this story.
so see, I am nobody, told me to go down this path and become a transformative healer or, do some, energy work and change the chakra configuration. None of this was by the plan. Just life took me to the places which were too dark, and there was nobody who could help me to get out of it. And in the process of finding solutions, I stumbled upon certain practices, certain methods which worked. I could reverse my arthritis, I could reverse my spondylitis, I could get the diagnosis right for something I was suffering because of genetic composition. And you may say that, after I tell you the whole story, you will feel, oh, it's obvious. Oh, yeah, that happens. I get it. But when you're actually stuck in it and nobody is able to do anything about it, it's pure powerlessness and helplessness. There is no light visible at the end of the tunnel. It's a really dark road. And more than the disease, I think personally what I suffered, and every day I see clients who are suffering, is, this sense that now my life can no longer be the same because of this medical condition. To get themselves out of that whole trauma and the possibilities which have now reduced is a real game changer for them.
Let me go back for a minute and recap a little bit to bring the viewers a little bit deeper into your story. What were the symptoms that you was going through, and then later, what was you being diagnosed with?
So since childhood, I would have mouth ulcers 365 days a week, a year. Okay. Every day my mouth will be filled with ulcers. I would have inflammation. I would feel nausea, everything. But, this was undiagnosed. I had, up till the age of 33, I had this thicker file of all possible tests known to humankind, and all the reports would come out clear. I would feel brain fog. I would feel so intense brain fog that I would not be able to remember anything about the day. And I was literally working like a zombie. When you just know today this needs to be done. There was no future planning. There was no planning. There was no business execution that was happening to the level in which I can, go for growth. My whole body was just stuck in the survival. That, okay, today is this day. Today, these are the things which needs to be done. In a very thick brain fog, I will do something. Whole day, my body will be paining. Whole day, my whole body will feel so heavy as if I have become 80-year-old. and rocks are tied to my body like that. And I would go to doctors and I would have, a lot of gut related issues and all that. Nobody was able to diagnose what was on. So people told me, you're going crazy. It's just anxiety. It's just acidity. It's something is in your head. You're just imagining stuff. And one doctor went as far as to say that maybe it is gut ulcer. Gut, not ulcer. He said cancer. Maybe it is cancer.
Were there, excuse me, were these conditions, did other people in your family have these symptoms, or were you the first to have this particular diagnosis?
People with this condition have spectrum. So, of course, I was someone who had the highest spectrum of this condition. My mom, all my aunts, my mom's side, my mom's sisters, all of them have this kind of symptoms, but they're pretty mild. In my case, maybe because of the next generation, the genetic expression changed and amplified. So the genetic expression in my case, it was really, amplified. On a scale of 5, I'm 5 allergic.
Was this sort of like a genetic mutation that you would experience from generation to generation that festered in, that actually mutated stronger as it went through certain parts of your family? Because you mentioned that other people had it, but yours seemed to be very, let's put it like this, it progressed more than what they probably would have expected it. Because if somebody had it, what were their treatments? What was your family's treatment prior to when they had it?
So I think ignorance is the biggest disease in the world. And sometimes for a lot of people, ignorance is also bliss. So though all my aunts were suffering from it, and it was not of that impact to them, they had certain symptoms which were problematic, but not to the greatest degree. They were managing without medication. There was no prognosis. There was no diagnosis. Whatever test doctor recommended, they did it, and it all came out clean. But their life was going on. It was not crashing like mine.
What were the treatments that they were given? Like, what kind of medication was being administered to your family members at that particular time that somewhat kept the condition under control?
Only gut-related digestion, Ayurvedic digestion, our Indian remedies, those were done. Nothing too drastic.
How many doctors had you went to when you had this condition, roughly? Look, you're laughing, so you must have went all over Mumbai.
I went
you know
all
what I'm
over.
saying? They know your name all over Mumbai right now.
Yeah. All over Mumbai, all over Delhi. Like, I've been to gastroenterologist, and then endocrinologist, then general physician, then hormone specialist. Oh my God, I've gone to so many doctors, and everybody's like, okay, all your reports are clean. Nothing is coming out. You need to go back and take a chill pill.
Now,
Because
is this condition that you had, I'm assuming that it might have been life-threatening as well, correct?
It is not life-threatening, but it is life-damaging.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than this, I was also diagnosed with arthritis because of this disease. Like, after 33 years, I had to do a lot of energy work, and I literally had to put in Reiki energy on a slip that so initially the request was, to the God, to the universe, to whoever was listening, that, okay, let my condition become okay. After a couple of months, I realized this is not going anywhere. My condition is not getting normal. And by then, one of the doctor had told me there is a very strong chance that you may have cancer. And I was, bracing myself for the impact. So one point of time, I work in the domain of energy healing. I know Reiki, you can channelize the universal energy, and the universe will guide you, or certain things will open in your own mind and body, which will allow you to see things which were earlier hidden. So then once you start doing Reiki, you have to start observing all the clues that start coming in. So after I did Reiki, I then shifted my intention. Okay, whatever is the issue, I just want that issue to be diagnosed. Whatever it is, even if it is cancer, I'll deal with it. I just want a clear diagnosis. Because by then I had gone through so many diets, nothing changed. And one of the doctors said that maybe it is premenopause that is kicking in. These days, it's very common. Even the females in 20s are having menopause. I said, okay. So there were some hormone supplements that were already done. There were certain very bizarre kind of advices and treatments which were done on experimental basis on me. Everything was already by then done and nothing was working. These were the extreme of the things. Okay. And
what made them, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what made them come to somewhat of a diagnosis of cancer?
So I was having a lot of gut issues. Either I'll end up vomiting or there will be loose stool or there will be constipation. And then my mouth will be filled with ulcer, which is a typical sign of a gut issue. And there was sometimes...
Did you wind up with, did they give you the ultimatum of having radiation treatment or... because
no.
When you mention cancer, they usually get pretty, forthcoming with treatment.
I brushed them off. I don't know, something about me. I heard that statement and a part of me was like, you got to be kidding me. Just because you don't know it, just don't make up cancer. Just admit that you don't know it.
Now, how did this affect your personal life? I mean, did you have a support group, mother, father, sister, brother, husband, boyfriend? Like, how were you handling all this emotionally, and how was this messing with your mental state? Because it appears that you're not getting any good news from any of the doctors.
With this disease, I also got a gift. That gift was amnesia. I would not remember anything. My memory has holes inside it from all the period when the problem accentuated. Okay, so I have a husband and I have a son. And this problem became worse after I conceived my son. So because of the pregnancy, the hormones doubled up. And because the hormones doubled up, the allergy went up. The degree of allergy that I had, it doubled. Wow. After that, I would not remember anything. I would sit with thousands of people. I will have meetings. I used to run a business back then. Also, it was a food business. I would do whole work. I would meet up friends and everything. And I would not remember a single thing. Later on, I'll look at my photograph. My friend would have clicked a photograph. And I would look at that photograph. I would have no memory of meeting them. I had no memory of anything that was happening around me at that time. I had a very thick brain fog. And my functioning was very, very limited and only focused on how to get through today. So
how were you able to be a functioning, wife and a functioning mother if you can't remember half of the things that's happening to you daily, within minutes at a time, I guess?
Very blurred. I think the days were very blurred. I won't remember a lot of things, and the basic stuff I would know. Okay, after so many years of staying by myself, I knew a lot of stuff. So your muscle memory kicks in. You get through the day, you do a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of things in certain areas of your life which are not going correct. But then that is what it is. But see, the important thing is not that. Important thing is that a lot of things were happening. This condition was not new to me. Part of my head also knew how to manage it, how to be independent by myself. All of those things were happening in the background. Because of one condition getting kicked in, which was also undiagnosed at certain point, I also came across another set of bad news that because of this, autoimmune disease had gotten kicked in. Because of that, accelerated aging has kicked in. Because of that, my arthritis at the age of 34, I was diagnosed with arthritis in the knees, for which, doctor said you have to operate. And then host of gut issues also creates mental fog. So gut and mind is interlinked. If your gut is going to be compromised, your gut health, you will have pervasive thought, you will have dark thoughts, you will have all kind of negativity in your mind. You will practically go into depression just because your gut is unhealthy.
Did you consider, you mentioned medicine didn't work. You mentioned you embarked on taking Ricky. Why did you wind up going there? And more importantly, most Western traditions is very deeply rooted in herbal treatments. Did you wind up going down that path, or homeostasis type treatment? Did you wind up going down that road?
So I was already doing Ayurvedic treatment, which is herbal treatment of India. My parents, my mom, my aunts, everyone was doing it, but it was not working well with me. And I had this deep sense of feeling something is wrong and something needs to be figured out. Though it is not coming out in reports, I knew something is not right. And no matter how many times doctor told me it's in your head, I knew no, it's not in my head. It's something is wrong in my body. I know that. So
Why did you wind up going to Reiki though? I understand its philosophy and its methodology with energy healing, but I'm trying to get the connection. Maybe you can help the viewers understand why you choose to use that when you got something as deep as the condition that you had.
see, I learned Reiki as a hobby when I was a student, when I was in class 10th. Okay. And one day I was sleeping and my condition was really bad. I was losing hair. I was looking 10-year older than for my age. I put on weight. It was not going. My whole body was in pain. Thousands of things in my life had already gone wrong by that time. My business had crashed. My son had certain medical issues. Of course, with all of this, the relationship takes a strain. Thousands of things were going. And I had knocked on all doors. Nothing was working. And when I had learned energy healing, so that point of time, our teacher, our master had told us that human beings are very foolish beings. Because if some problem happen, especially the medical problem, they will first go to doctor. They will say, doctor, you are my God. You save me. Let's say the first doctor is not able to help, then they will go to second doctor. They will say, now I am considering you are my God. I lay my life in your hand. Now you treat me. Like that, they will shift thousands of doctors. They will go to variety of places, alternate healing and all that. After they have exhausted all their options, that is the time they will go to Reiki. Now, Reiki is supreme energy force of the world. This is the energy from which the universe is made up of. And this is something with, if you are a Reiki channel, if you invoke God with the prayer, God has to come. There is no option. That is like you have a direct access. So my master said, human beings are very stupid. They go to the most powerful force as a last resort. And then the God laughed. That you could have come to me the first. No, you have an access. What took you so long? So this recollection came to me in a dream.
Okay.
And after this recollection came to me, I created a slip in which you write what outcome you're going after. So for my case, I got an outcome. I made an intention slip that my diagnosis, like I have been diagnosed successfully. What is my issue? That has been diagnosed. And I started to put energy on it. Within 20 days, I met across a doctor accidentally, coincidentally. She is a double PhD in a genetic sciences. And in 15-minute conversation, she could sort out something which 33 years could not do. And this doctor was back in India just a week before. So this was divine intervention of the highest level, that because I was putting energy there, I literally manifested someone from across the globe. And coincidentally, I happened to cross the path. And coincidentally, she diagnosed it in 15 minutes conversation. And by then, I was not ready to believe it. I said, no, I have done all kind of hypothetical prognosis and diagnosis and diets and this and that. I want a complete proof. You do a full set of tests.
Right.
I need you to prove this to me that I have this condition, which ultimately came out to be very high, severe gluten allergy, 5 on 5 level. So I said, I need to be diagnosed properly. She said, okay, no problem. You give me the blood sample. It will take about a month for me to process your blood sample in a way that we do. And, but for the time being, just 1 week, you remove all the gluten from your diet. And that is also a task. Okay. Firstly, I was crying. Oh my God, I'm sick. Then secondly, I'm a North Indian and our staple diet is wheat. And I was like, God, now you have taken away food also. What am I supposed to eat? This is the punishment you are giving me. So 30 days of meltdown, emotional meltdown happened because I did not know what to eat. But then suddenly my condition improved. In 7 days, what had not improved for 33 years.
But didn't you deal with nutritionists and herbalists that could have reprogrammed your nutritional habits?
If they had known that this was gluten, of course they would have. Nobody knew.
Even with blood tests, they didn't know.
No, the gluten allergy blood test was never ran. So there are certain kind of tests which were done repeatedly by different doctors, because those are the first initial indicators. Only if something goes wrong in those initial reports, then only they dig into those specific areas. But when all the initial reports are coming clean, nobody investigated further. Even if they did, whatever approach they took, it was all clear. The reports were all clear. It was only this doctor who specifically, in the conversation, only she figured out it is gluten. Then she did test, and then the test came positive.
Wow. Now, how are you feeling now? Like, how
I
is your
feel
outlook on things now?
I feel blessed that ultimately nothing major came out. You know, um, it was like a very small thing. You don't have to take any medication. Just a simple dietary change can fix this. It's not that some hidden disease came out for which I have to be on a lifelong medication.
Mhm.
So that ways I feel quite blessed. But the aftermath of it was very dark. Getting gluten out of my system, I'm still recovering, I feel. There are still days where I have very thick brain fog. My entire digestion system went for a toss. My arthritis, I was advised to go for knee replacements. But because of Reiki and energy healing, all the hidden fears that, you have in order to move forward in life, because by then my mental state had deteriorated so much that I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I did not know that would I be able to reverse age 10 years in my life, because my body had progressively aged. At the age of 33, I was looking like 53.
Really? Is that
Yeah.
from is that for not being properly diagnosed?
Yeah, because see, you are eating something your body is rejecting, and whatever you are eating is causing continuous gut inflammation. Whatever
And
you're
that
eating, nutrition is not getting absorbed in your body. So whole day you are using your body without getting nutrition, and plus there is an additive inflammation every day. It kicked up a whole chain reaction into the body, which caused super fast aging.
so what are your eating habits like now? Like what is the daily eating regimen for you to basically try to keep this under control?
No gluten, that's it.
Really?
Yeah, something such a simple fix. It took me 33 years to find, and had it not been for energy healing. So some people, like now that the work that I do, some people they have issues in their body, and sometimes we use energy work to find the right doctor to help them have a diagnosis. Some people have issues in their body which are emotional,
Right.
which manifest in the form of, like, I had one client who had psoriasis like condition, eczema like condition all over his body, which was ultimately attributed to the anger that he was holding in his body. Because
Hmm.
you're just holding everything in and your body's burning up, and all of that is coming out on the skin. Steroids are not working. So there is no diagnosis which is clear. Whatever medication doctor is giving is the best, but still it is not working on him because the root causes are more emotional or psychological.
Let me
Those
ask
cases
you.
also, yeah.
No, I get you on that. Let me go here. Explain the I reawakening and your mission to make this a global model to root transformation. Explain that a little bit to the viewers before we wrap up.
So energy work. So mind, body, and soul. There are three pillars of human body and soul. Okay. I reawake as a service. What we do is, see, if the energy centers in our body, the chakras, if they are rigged, for example, if one of the chakra is constantly ringing in the energy of lack, constantly ringing in the energy of I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, then the kind of thoughts it will create in your mind will be, I want to hoard, or I let me not spend, or I will be scared of having money or anything in my life because that does not ring with me. If you have these kind of thoughts, you will also have tightness in your pelvic area. You will also have tightness in your legs because quite literally you are not getting enough in your life. So you do not feel safe, or you do not feel safe to walk forward. ID Awake helps you to clear these patterns, which basically originate in your subconscious, in your energy centers. Then they go over into your subconscious mind, and then they further spill into your body. So when someone comes to me with the symptoms, I am been diagnosed with cancer. This is a symptom. I have been trying to run my business. This is the third time my business has collapsed. This is a symptom. My relationship, like I have been divorced twice. Now I'm scared to get into a relationship. Now that's a symptom of a deeper problem. So ID Awake as a service, it examines your mind, body, soul, the chakras, the subconscious mind, the patterns in your whole physiology or in your life which are running, and it helps you to break out of those patterns and go to the next level in like 24 hours, not like lifelong mission.
Now let me go here. I'm trying to say this the right way where this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Your program,
Mm-hmm.
the I Reawakening, is a method that I won't say it can treat. So what would you call it? Because you're not a doctor, but you practice this method. What would you call it for people that you do?
Transformative healing or a healing breakthrough.
Healing. Okay. Now, how did you learn how to do this? Because I think that's what the viewers would say. Like, there's a lot of trans healers or energy healers. So how did you actually get to become a energy healer?
So like I said in the beginning of the show, that this was not a plan that I had chosen. This was the plan which was destiny. I stumbled upon it because of my personal issues. But on looking back, I feel that I always had gifts. I had psychic gifts. I could always see what was going to happen tomorrow, day after, the day after that. I would have teleportation. Like when I was a child, I would find myself awakened in different places in my dreams. I did not know what was happening. I had no words for it. As a child, I would feel just entertained. And as I learned Reiki, it was also quite like an accident. It was like something stumbled across and accidentally I learned it. But then looking back, I feel it was all divine planning. It was all divine intervention. Things were given to me. And because of my psychic abilities, I also could utilize the healing to crack the code. There are a lot of healers and you can go to a lot of healers, but healing flows with intention. And only when you know where to place your intention, only then you'll be able to break the pattern. It's like if you have a big rock to crush, you cannot take a hammer and barge it all over. You will just find one spot. You will just put one click and the whole rock will crumble. It's not a matter of force. It's a matter of strategic action. So I could, because I had that insight, because I worked on that map, because my psychic activity was at all-time high. Even when my mind was blurred, I had such a brain fog, my spiritual gifts were quite heightened. And I knew something was wrong, no matter what anybody was telling. So because I could wrap all of this together, now I know that, there are differences in healings, different kind of energies have different kind of functions to break what kind of pattern, which energy is required, specifically at what spot. Those are the things.
Go ahead.
So the point of energy healer is not that you can channel energy. I can attune you. It's just a 15 minutes process. It's like a blessing and the whole energy field will be installed in your aura and you can also become a channel. Becoming a channel of energy is the easiest thing in the world. But to know how
we all have so you're saying we all have this universal gift to change our beast mindset into a more energetic field is what I'm hearing.
We are all connected. We are all made up with the same energy. We are all connected from many, many lifetimes and many, many alternate realities. So there's nothing in life is a coincidence. We already are meeting again. Not the first time.
So we met before.
True.
That sounds really nice. I like the way that you came on the show and explained it, but it's really sad that through the trauma that you went through with this gluten situation and gut problems, that now look where you're at. You actually have elevated into what I might call a higher level of consciousness. Definitely taking that beast mindset to another level. How many people do you see daily, roughly, that have superficial issues that can be recorrected by changing that energy frequency that you do?
Every day, everyone that I see has a lot of energy upgrade that they can go through. I just see them suffering needlessly. There is no need to suffer. 30 minutes of work can save you 30 years of your life. Just because you can do one change, one thing, if you change and upgrade, enough.
Now, we're talking about a platform here that is universal. Everybody listens to the Andre the Beast Creighton show. So your services, how am I able to obtain your services if I'm living in different parts of the world? How does this really work for me if I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana?
So Reiki as an energy, it does not obey the human laws of space and time. Energy transcends space and time. And you can book a Zoom call with me. It's ireawake.com/clarity call. It's a really small amount. You can just pay and you can get in touch with me. And we can figure out what all patterns are there which are keeping you stuck. Why are you stuck in first place? Let's also discover which level you need to go to. And then how the call goes, we can get on with the whole energy work. It's the total upgrade only take 24 hours. I mean, how fast it can be.
Now, is this a money back guarantee?
There is a guarantee that you will get there. That is written, of course, in the flagship program. If I'm working with you, you will have a guarantee. If you still feel it's not there, we will redo the program. But so far, in last 4 years, 200, 300 clients, we've not had to do a guarantee for anyone. By the half program is done, you have your full results.
How long does it usually take somebody to see a change? I know results may vary based on different individual circumstances, but what is used? Let's say a typical thing might be, like you said, somebody can't get in a relationship because blah 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 blah. How long does that usually take a person to reprogram or retransform?
Immediately, within the session itself. So when you are sitting with me over a call in 2-hour session or one session, how long you may take, it's up to you. But then let's say 2 hours is standard time. In 2 hours, in your own third eye, in your own full body, you'll be able to see the change. You'll be able to sample the change. Within the session, the last step of the session is you have to look back and tell me how you feel when you look back at everything that has happened and what thoughts come to you. Then and there, you will know you've changed. Because when moment the people look back like, oh my God, I don't know why I tolerated so much of shit. And this was the same person who was saying, I'm ready to die for my ex. So something has changed.
You know what? Thank you so much for taking time to come on the show and share such a beautiful story. Once again, how can the viewers reach out to you and know more about your program?
So we have a website, ireawake.com / you go on to a page, Clarity Call, and you find a link to book a call directly with me, and then I'll see you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe, like, share, follow. Click that button. All it takes is a click to make a difference in your life or change somebody else's. Baby girl, thank you so much for taking time to come on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show.